It makes me so happy to see everybody. And to get our graduation program started, I'm really excited to pass it to somebody who can speak really directly to your accomplishments. And so I'm going to introduce Shannon Watts, a YLAT alumni and the Clinical Director of Alternative Wellness Services. So I'm going to pass it over to Shannon. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here celebrating this special moment with all of you. Although I graduated from high school 11 years ago, I remember the moment as if it was yesterday. I was sitting in the stuffy Civic Center, listening to hundreds of muffled voices around me and recalling the last 18 years of my life. I was overwhelmed with emotion because I had questioned many times if the day would ever come. It wasn't because I doubted myself academically. I had been an excellent student. However, there were moments in my past that I had thought, would I be alive to see this day? We may not have all walked the same path, but I feel as though there is an unspoken understanding when you meet someone in care. We have a shared experience of the uncertainty and loss of control the system can bring. For me, I lived my chaotic life thinking it was normal until suddenly I was told it wasn't. As youth in foster care, our new normal consisted of multiple caseworkers, transition workers, guardian ad litems, placements in school districts. The many faces are sometimes just a blur in the rearview mirror. We have to miss school due to required therapy sessions, team meetings, visits, and doctor or dental appointments. Then, of course, trying to process and work through what had brought us into foster care in the first place. If you were fortunate, you had teachers that understood why you were restless in your seat, felt uncomfortable if they stood too close to you, or were patient when you couldn't concentrate no matter how hard you tried. I remember walking into my 6th grade class and my teacher asked why I had missed school the last 2 days. I nonchalantly let them know that I had to call the police because my mother's boyfriend had tried to harm her again. The look of concern on his face will forever be ingrained in my memory. I didn't understand why at the time. To me, it was just another day. You see, being a youth in foster care adds a complex layer to an already challenging school experience. Whatever your personal story may be, you have made it. 30.7% of youth in foster care graduate high school, and 2.5% graduate college. You have defied the odds. Now you're moving on to the next chapter of your life. Although this is an exciting time, you may be experiencing the all too familiar feeling of uncertainty again. There are decisions to be made, and now you have the freedom to make them on your own. This doesn't mean you are alone, though. You may feel as though you have no one to count on but yourselves. However, there are people that care about you, even if you don't believe it to be true. I am 28 years old, and I am still in contact with the caseworkers and supervisors that worked with me as a youth. My caseworker was actually the officiant at my wedding and helped celebrate the birth of both of my children. Aging out of the foster care system can be unnerving, but there is always someone you can contact. You can reach out to a teacher, a transition worker, caseworker, and those you consider family, whether they are friends, foster parents, biological family, or community members. There will be times that you need to advocate for yourself. Do not let your voice go unheard. You are all resilient individuals, each with a unique perspective on life. If I had listened to the individuals who had told me I couldn't or shouldn't growing up, I wouldn't be where I am today. I used their negativity to fuel my fire because their words were not going to hold any power over me. I ask you to use your strength, resiliency, and courage to go after your dreams and don't let anyone stand in your way. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you so much, Shannon. And I will have to say, I just want to offer that it was a great treat to be able to reach out to you and ask you to be able to help us create this event. And what an inspiration you've been, I think, for all of us that have been able to get to know you. And that I really appreciate your quote around all of the graduates who need to know there's a lot of big decisions and how unnerving this place can be and how exciting, and that there is such a community of reaching out, whether it's your peers, the YLAT community. I see a lot of friendly faces and faces from OCFS. So there is that community that's here, but then also beyond to really support in some of those big decisions ahead. So now I'm really excited to kind of help with our welcome. I'm going to pass it over to Director Todd Landry, who is joining us to really help celebrate this important milestone for all graduates. Director Landry, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to add my congratulations and to join in this celebration. As Shannon indicated, this is an opportunity to reflect on the accomplishments that many of you have, and the opportunity to celebrate your diploma or your degree as you have completed that very important chapter in your life, and you look forward to writing that next chapter of your life. There's a old Chinese, some say it's a proverb, some say it's a curse, and I'm sure many of you have heard it, that goes along the lines of, may you live in interesting times. And some consider it a proverb, and some consider it, as I said, a curse, because of the challenges that come with interesting times. And I will tell you that I would bet virtually none of you, maybe I'm wrong, but I would bet almost none of you predicted that you would be celebrating your graduation in this kind of a way that we're celebrating in the months of May and June, with many of your graduation celebrations even being either changed to much smaller opportunities to come together, or as today, we're doing this virtually. But it does not change, while we are celebrating it a little bit differently, it does not change the accomplishment. The accomplishment that all of you have achieved with your diploma or your degree, the adversity you may have overcome, the tenacity that you've had to show, the resilience that you've had to rely upon, and the support of others, your extended family, friends, and your community that have helped you get to this point. So we congratulate you, we celebrate with you, we're thrilled that you have achieved these accomplishments, and we want to wish you the very best as you go forward in your careers and in your lives. I would like to pause for just a moment, though, and acknowledge the unique circumstances that are happening in our state and in our communities and in our nation following the very tragic death of George Floyd. We as a country are witnessing and partaking in and participating in many cases on the fear, the frustration, the challenges that come with the very untimely and tragic death of George Floyd. This is a part of the times that we're living in. And as we go forward as a community, as a state, and as a nation, we acknowledge and want to make sure that we're acknowledging that fear and that frustration and those concerns. And I personally hope that we can, at this point in our country's history, come together more than ever to not just acknowledge that pain and that frustration, but actually channel that into a new way of working with each other and fulfilling the hope and the dream that we have, that we all have for our communities, our state, and our country. A future, hopefully, where everyone is treated with respect, where everyone is treated with compassion, where all recognize the history that we have in this country and are committed to making lives better for all of us that live together in our communities. You have a vital part to play in that. There is a reason why these celebrations are called commencement. Yes, it's a celebration of what you have done, but more importantly, it's a celebration of a new beginning, a new start, a new chapter in your lives. And certainly, I hope that all of you will take advantage of that new chapter in helping to not only build your futures, but to help to build a more productive and beneficial future for our communities, our state, and our country. So today, as we celebrate that commencement, that beginning, I'm going to refer back for a moment to the quote that I started with, that quote of the Chinese proverb or curse of "May you live in interesting times." As I was looking up a little bit of provenance about that, I found out that one of the ways that that quote or that saying really became prominent in current history, or reasonably current history, was from a speech that Robert Kennedy gave in 1966. And in that speech that he gave in Cape Town, he said, "There's a Chinese curse which says, 'May he live in interesting times.' Like it or not, we live in interesting times. They are times of danger and uncertainty, but they are also more open to the creative energy of men than any other time in history." I think that quote is just as true today as it was in 1966. And so as you go forward in this new beginning, your next chapter of your lives, I certainly hope that you will bring your creative energy, your creative solutions, your creative thoughts and ideas to not only further your lives and your ambitions, but those of others like you, those of others in your community, in our state, and in our nation. So let me add my congratulations to your accomplishment, along with that of your friends and your family and your community of supporters. We are delighted to celebrate with you. We honor your accomplishment. And as you go forward, as you have heard from Shannon and Amen, know that we're still here to help support you. We are still here to help you in whatever way that we can, because we want you to be successful. We want you to have the very bright futures that all of you deserve. So my final wish for you is to be well. My final hope for you is to do good. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Amen.
Thank you, Director Landry, and appreciate just the recognition of the times that this graduation is taking place during, and the recognition that the graduates that are joining us today have navigated uncertain times and uncertainty, have shown resilience, and a lot of us can really learn how they were able to be creative, and we can learn from you to help us in figuring out how we shape our future and how we come together. So really pointing out that many of the graduates and many of you are going to help us in designing what that looks like and as we come together as a community. And I might be a bit biased, but there's only one community that I think is really the most exceptionally creative, and that is YLAT. And when we bring young people and adults together, that's where we can really have our most innovative opportunities.